Earlier on today, Tottenham were beaten by Aston Villa by 2-1, and Martin is a Spurs fan. Hello, Martin.
Hi, good afternoon, guys.
Hello, Martin.
Thanks for joining us. So what did you think of your team's performance? Started well enough. Did you miss too many chances?
We missed too many chances. We're missing that tiny edge. We should have just been more clinical, and I think the game would be ours. First half of the game, I literally thought that the first half of the game when I was watching it from my home here in New York City. I was sure we're for sure going to go into the break 3-0 up and Aston Villa one man down. They had 3 of the midfield on a yellow card. I was sure there's going to be for sure one of them who was going to get another yellow card and just go down to 10 men, and then the game would have been all ours. But we don't have that one player who just, it doesn't matter how, if everyone's just 90% and not 100%. We need just that one player who would shine in the dark and just pull the game to a win on his own, and we do not have that player.
Martin, you don't think normally that's Heung Sung Min, isn't it? Because he missed 2 gilt-edged chances, especially the one that he missed round about the penalty spot where he should have at least hit the target.
Yeah. Heung Min Son should have probably just be more clinical. I'd say even I thought that chance that Bissouma had, obviously he didn't manage to control the ball well enough, but he sent it up to the fans. But Bissouma also had a very good chance when he's just edged out and could have get a goal before some chances that were missed. First half we were for sure better. Second half they were for sure better by a far margin. And look, they scored 2 goals and we scored 1 goal. That's the only way. That's why they won the game.
Okay, so what's going to happen for the rest of the season? Because that's 3 defeats in a row now after a really promising start. Obviously, people criticising a little bit, suggesting now that Tottenham's bubble has burst. Do you feel like that?
Yes. Look, I remember that. I just remind everyone 2019-20 season, where also it was Mourinho's first full season. By the 9th or 10th, I think until the 9th or the 10th match day we were on, I think we're top of the table, and then we had that Liverpool game, and we went down to 3rd. It's just, I don't know. I think since we had Pochettino, when we had Pochettino, even though we weren't always on the top of the table, but I don't think we're almost ever on the top of the table, but we always stayed around the top 4. Well, with Mourinho, Conte, it doesn't matter how well we were doing. Once we started dropping, we just went flying down the table, and this is what's happening now. So,
okay, Martin, well, thank you very much. We've got to move on, but if you want to contribute to the debate, 03717 722 333
Martin sounded like he's playing Space Invaders in the background there, didn't he?
It might have been, you never know.
Back to the 80s. I think with Spurs fans, they realised that they weren't really ever in the title race because of the depth of their squad, and that's what's happened. Because
mathematically, you don't make a start like that and then fall away so quickly. That doesn't usually happen.
But I'm going to defend Spurs here against Chelsea. What could have gone wrong did go wrong.
Absolutely. And they've had really bad luck with the injuries. But a lot of teams have had bad luck with injuries so far this season.
With his hamstring going, James Maddison. So what that did, it highlighted the lacking depth of Spurs' squad, because if you take out 2 or 3 your best players, you're going to struggle. But Spurs
Manchester United have had a lot of injuries so far this season. Brighton have had an inordinate number of injuries. Newcastle United had basically 12 players out yesterday and won 4-1 against Chelsea.
Yeah, but I would say that Manchester United have a bigger squad, strength in depth than what Spurs do, and I'd say that Newcastle do, because we mentioned before about Newcastle recruitment, which has been very good. So Aston Villa have probably been more, we say, lucky with their injuries, haven't had injuries to main players. So all this means now, from Tom Hotspur's point of view, is they have to back Postecoglou in the January transfer window, because he needs at least 3 or 4 players to get that squad depth, because the players that are coming in aren't good enough.
It relies on pace of the defence if he wants to play that high line, so he needs to make sure that he gets 2 or 3 of those incredible speedsters, because if you're asking them to do those sort of level of sprints on a regular basis, then there is going to be hamstring injuries. Gary's a Tottenham fan. Hello.
Yeah, hi, how you doing?
Hello, Gary.
Yeah, we're good, thank you, Gary. What's your point?
So am I. Why people think the Spurs bubble has burst, it hasn't. At the end of the day, we started off fantastically well for the season and the game today. But this was, a lot of our team playing were what some were saying were dead wood. Well, Lo Celso was great, everything was great. Bentancur was bossing that game until Matty Cash did what he does, which I thought that was a red card, personally. He He knew what he was doing.
Well, I thought it was a poor challenge.
It was a yellow, but you're right, Gary. He did know what he was doing. He knew that he was going to swipe his legs away.
Absolutely. I mean, and the thing is, yes, we've had injuries and other teams, but the big difference with our injuries is Ange Postecoglou has come in and he's totally changing the whole style of play.
Yep.
He's changing everything. Now, when you've got like Newcastle lost players, their pit team, the guys that are coming in, they know what to do because they've been doing it for 2-3 years. Our guys, it's a brand new, it's a new playbook. So when we've got the guys coming in, of course, it will affect us a lot more because it's a new system that we've got to play.
It's a great point, that, because the whole club has been turned on its head by Ange Postecoglou.
And
so
also,
far.
you're right, you've got a good point there, Gary, as well, because of the fitness side of it as well, because the way that Postecoglou wants his teams to play, it is high intensity throughout that 90, 95 minutes. And the Spurs players are going from having boring, dull football, soaking up pressure under Conte and under Mourinho, to then having to change that where their fitness levels have to be a lot higher. And maybe that might be a few injury problems as well.